We have some breaking news from a shocking moment in the cabinet room at the White House that left everyone speechless, including President Trump, to Chicago residents who are begging for the National Guard to come in and save their city, all while the Governor Pritzker, is out here playing games on Twitter, giving signals that he would much rather let his city burn than get help from the President of the United States and more. So welcome to the Adam C. Moreno Show. If you like having conversations like this, if you think they matter, please consider liking and subscribing. Now, let's jump right in. So let's start with this moment that stole the internet's heart today. This video is proof of why politics matter. This woman nearly lost her life due to how unsafe DC was, and now she's able to share her story with the world and look this administration in the face and thank them personally. Watch this. It is so touching.
Of course. So first of all, thank you, Mr.
Do you want to listen to this?
For having me here to share my story to the room and to the broader public. My name is Iris Tao. I'm a White House correspondent for NTV, the sister media of the Epoch Times. So more than 2 years ago, it was a Saturday morning in broad daylight. I was on my way to work, and a young man with a black ski mask pointed a gun in my face and threatened me to hand over my phone, my wallet, my laptop, and everything else. And when I refused, he used the butt of his handgun to strike me across the face, in the cheek, or what some people call pistol whip me, before running away. And that has deeply traumatized myself and my family. Ever since, I've never dared to walk in the street of DC at night, ever. And my family was extremely worried. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
Thank you for being honest.
Such incidents involved not just me, but also my family. If he had shot me, I could have died right there in the middle of nowhere without my families or my friends knowing at the age of back then, I think 23.
Right.
Just starting my career here in DC without even starting a family. But now I'm very blessed to have this opportunity.
So you had a gun pointed at your head, and you probably figured that he's going to pull the trigger because these are animals that don't know what the hell. They couldn't care less. The pulling the trigger to him is a very minor event, and I'm sure he's done it before. So how did you? And you did refuse to give it, which would probably, maybe somebody would say that was not the right decision, right? But you refused. But I understand that. So and then he hit you real hard.
Yes.
It's really amazing that you weren't shot. That was.
I'm very blessed, and that's why having this opportunity to stand here to share my story today. One, I'm very grateful for God for allowing me to still survive to this day, but also to Mr. President. Thank you for now making DC safer.
Thank you very much.
For us, for our families, for my parents, on my behalf of my parents, and now my baby on the way. Thank you so much.
Wow. You see, politics matter because people matter. We can talk all day about policies and executive orders and talk about what this governor is doing over here and what that governor is doing over there and all that, and that's all fine. But this is why it's important. At the end of the day, the decisions that are made at high offices actually affect real people. A woman who is now able to thrive in her community after experiencing something tormenting like a near-death experience is now able to walk without fear in the streets of DC. Iris Tao got pistol whipped and was able to thank the president to his face for making DC safe again, not just for her, but for her family, because she is now pregnant. So good. Praise God. I love it so much. And you'd think that every mainstream media source would be actually talking about this event and how it's just great. But no, on CNN, we have Jamie Raskin, who is a representative Democrat from Maryland, in a kind of attempting to romanticize crime, which is just so unbelievable. Watch this.
And the military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement purposes. In DC, he was talking about cleaning up the graffiti and, dealing with the blight of homelessness, which are obviously local, not federal issues. And he's trying to militarize our society, intimidate his political opponents. The whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history.
Crime has always been part of our history, but that doesn't mean we stop trying to make cities safer. By this logic, we should stop locking our doors. But we're not going to do that because most of us aren't crazy people. And you know what? Crime is part of our history, but that's not an excuse to make it part of our future. And at the same time, in Chicago, we actually see the governor of Illinois also trying to deflect crime as well, attempting to say that crime doesn't exist in Chicago. Because look, I'm selectively showing a beautiful lakefront area in the city at 6 a.m., as if this perfectly represents Chicago and Illinois, or as if crime surges at 6 a.m. Watch this.
Well, here I am on the path on the lakefront at 6 a.m. on a Monday. And we got a lot of people running, having a great time. It doesn't feel like a hellhole here. In fact, everybody's having a great time and enjoying themselves. So I don't know who in Washington thinks that Chicago is some sort of hellhole, but you may need to look inward.
The gaslighting here is crazy, but you know what? Thankfully, people in the comments aren't letting him get away with this. Look at this insane post. Someone writes, "This is Chicago over the past 24 hours or so, and your issue is with a person trying to put an end to it." Look at this. This looks unbelievable. All these screenshots are of Chicago, apparently over the past like 48 hours. This man shot in the head, a SWAT response after fatal shooting, 10 thieves, a storm at Nordstrom Rack, right? Another gunshot victim, shooting in Chicago, elderly residents targeted. Like the list goes on and on. And this is genuinely heartbreaking. And this isn't just on Twitter, by the way, right? People are on the ground trying to get live reactions from residents. And here are some people's real experiences of being in Chicago and what they think about the National Guard potentially coming in. Watch this.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded. My first reaction.
Wow. Chicago needs help. And Pritzker is out here saying this. All right. If Trump wants to get to Chicago, he's going to have to get through us. And we're not backing down. Let me just go ahead and translate this for a second. I'll tell you what he's really saying. Over my dead body. My goodness. It's like he's holding on to this power for his dear life. And while watch this other couple, I thought this was so unbelievable. And it is just so sad. This couple has an interesting rule for living in Chicago. You won't believe it.
We have a rule, like on weekends, we don't walk here. We'll just, like, if we go, we'll go to West Loop or whatever, we'll Uber, and then we'll Uber home. We have a
That's their rule. Their rule for living in Chicago is to not walk on the streets in Chicago. That no one should have to live like this. My goodness, another resident straight up says, yeah, bring in the National Guard. Please, we need it. Watch this.
The National Guard has to come here. Even if it's for a scare tactic, they have to come here. There's no control. There's no law and order. The National Guard has.
These people are begging for their communities to be made safe again. They're begging for their local and state elected leaders to get their act together and let President Trump come in and make their communities safe. And yet Governor Pritzker is out here saying, no, never. All right, look at this. He just tweeted this today. No, Donald, you can't do whatever you want. When President Trump in the cabinet room said, I have the right to do anything I want. I'm the president of the United States. And he was talking about sending the National Guard to Chicago. But Pritzker is just not moving. It is ridiculous. Other breaking news that had everyone talking today. Watch this. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift just got engaged. All right. And I saw this post by CBS. I thought it was a little bit wholesome. A reporter nearly broke down with excitement over this news, and I thought it was really interesting.
Taylor Swift is engaged. Taylor Swift is engaged. Taylor Swift is engaged. This, come back to me. She just posted it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it's huge. The ring is ginormous. This is so exciting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's on her Instagram. It's on her Instagram. It's on her Instagram. Oh my God. 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 I feel like Paul Revere right now. Like this is a very
The British are coming. The Swifties are coming. This is hilarious. I'm obviously not a Swiftie, so I'm not as excited as she is. But you know what? I have the same stance as Charlie Kirk here. He says young women should get married, just like Taylor Swift is planning to. You will be happier. You know what? Getting married is single-handedly one of the best decisions I ever made. So I am in complete agreement. I love it. And here's President Trump wishing Taylor Swift and Kelsey well. I thought this was great.
To ask you a serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck.
Oh.
No, I think it's. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
What a wholesome thing to say. Although he's been occasionally unpleasant towards Taylor, I thought this was nice. So I really wanted this episode to be a little bit more positive than usual, and I think it was. All right, from a woman who nearly lost her life, who's now able to thrive in a DC as she gets ready to start her family, to seeing the residents of Chicago tell their governor and tell the world and the press how they really feel about the National Guard coming in, to as well the three T's, which is President Trump and Travis and Taylor. All right, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. If you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Have a good rest of your day. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.